Yes, yes, yes. People, H God, Beer Sports Talk, and we are back. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. So today, in this one, I'm coming up with a new series, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? As you know, we have it. The Premier League is back in full swing. You know what I mean? Full action. And I decided I'm going to recap the weekend. You know what I mean? And this is something I'm going to try and do every week. You know what I mean? Review the match week. And I think I'm going to call it the Premier League Playback. You know what I mean? Or the PL Playback. Where, yeah, you know, like I said, we just quickly dive into all the games that happened during the week, the past match week, see the results, and just talk a little bit about it. So, with that being said, let's get into the first game. So, the first game of the match week, we had Chelsea versus West Ham. And listen, obviously Chelsea, West Ham, that's two teams on far different ends of the spectrum, especially given how the start of the season started. So it's a case where both teams really needed points for different reasons. You know what I mean? Chelsea, because with the money that they've invested in their team, obviously you have to be looking to Chelsea as somebody who needs to not only just compete, but compete on all fronts. And West Ham, being West Ham, started poorly. Graham Potter, he's not having the love of the fans much now. And after the result on Friday to start off the week, his seat is even more hotter at the moment because, you know, West Ham started the game off well. Luis Paqueta with a crazy, like just an absolute banger. Like he just absolutely like levered the ball straight in the back of the net. Great way to start the game for West Ham, but that was the only good thing for West Ham in that game because Chelsea proceeded to score 5 more, right? Score 5 and end up winning the game 5-1. This is Chelsea without Cole Palmer, by the way, who got some innocuous injury literally in the warm-ups that was so bad it caused him to sit out and couldn't play in the game. And, you know, listen, this game was a lot of both. So Chelsea good, West Ham bad. And that in itself right there killed West Ham, you know? And I could very well see Potter being sacked very soon. Moving on to Saturday now, and the first game on Saturday could be, if you want to call it the biggest shock of the weekend, the most shocking result of the weekend, but to anybody who knows the track record, it's not that shocking. I'm talking about Spurs beating City 2-0 at the Etihad. And listen, like I said, Spurs versus City, they have a good record. You know what I mean? Usually, if they don't win, they draw, but very rarely do they lose whenever they play City, whether home or away. And it's so weird, it's so strange how Spurs just seem to have City's number no matter what they do, no matter what they try. And yeah, you know, this game was a bit more of the same. Got to give credit to Thomas Frank and Spurs, as much as I don't like them. They were very solid, you know what I mean? Very solid, very compact. They didn't waste any energy and effort while doing it. Like, they were undoubtedly the best team. I don't want to say that Pep has been found out. It seems a bit too early to say that, but City don't look like the Man City that they normally look like and how they are at all. You know what I mean? Something's going on there. and something isn't completely right. Next game we have now, we're going to talk about Burnley-Sunderland. Burnley winning that 2-0. That was in the 10 o'clock space of games. I had a chance to actually watch that game itself too, and Burnley looked good. Solid, compact. Listen, these are the two teams that are newly promoted, so I'm sure they know each other well from their time in the championship, and they had a few tussles, and really, it was a back and forth game. It was even. Both teams had chances and it could have gone either way, but Burnley just took their chances and got it done. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. Next game, just gonna run through these quickly because not much happened in the 10 o'clock window. You had Brentford beating Aston Villa 1-0, a huge result for Brentford. Like, they really needed that, given everything and how much of a journey and a battle it's going to be for them this season. Picking up 3 points there versus Aston Villa, very massive for them. Bournemouth beating Wolves 1-0, a very hotly contested game. Wolves ending up with a red card early in the game. Didn't help them trying to get back in after Bournemouth scored literally like in the first couple of minutes. Like I'm looking here, it was like in the 5th minute. So Cherries go ahead, win that 1-0. And that leads us to the final game of Saturday, where my team, the Arsenal, right, after unveiling Eze, all that, we go out there versus Leeds, score 5 goals. You know what I mean? What more could I say? You know what I mean? Complete domination, complete... Like, Leeds might as well have not showed up. You know what I mean? They could have forfeited, lost 3-0 on paper, and it would have been better than the performance they put out there. You know what I mean? Like, it was fairly comfortable. Gyökeres getting a brace. We needed that. You know what I mean? Really bad though, dampening because the Odegaard and Saka injuries. Can't like that. But we showed that we've been doing business this summer because we have strength in depth in the squad. And that was, you know what I mean? That was good. Max Dowman coming on, playing well at 15, winning a penalty. Like, the kid is the future. You know what I mean? The kid is the future. So, great day to end off the day for me, and that was Saturday's games. Moving on to Sunday now, and the 2 early kickoff games we had Everton beating Brighton 2-0 at home to open up their new stadium to the Premier League for the first time, and you know, what a way to open it for them and their fans, and it was great. A game I had a chance to watch too. Grealish looked like he found himself back. He was playing well, and that was a great move for him, you know, especially in a World Cup year. It's kind of good for him to go ahead and try and be a big fish in a small pond, so to say, and do well, you know what I mean? So massive 3 points for Everton. And Palace versus Forest, you know what I mean? A game that was always going to be hotly contested, given the whole, you know, drama behind what happened with Palace and Forest's owner, and how he got them kicked out of the Europa League to the Conference League. And it ended up being 1-1, you know, tightly contested game, feisty, lots of quality for a mid-table clash, if you'd like to say. And in the end, a fair point. You know what I mean? A fair point for both teams, and it can serve both teams well. So that leads us now into the final game of the day, Fulham versus United. And listen, like I say, it's chaos now in the United camp. You know what I mean? Because while on paper there were some improvements, not much improvement on the pitch. And the coach, who as early as the season is now, he's coming under some pressure by some of the fans because they need and want to see better and more results and getting results. Right now, that's really what it is for them. So 1-1 is not terrible, but Man United really would have loved to win that game. Like, I think the last few times they've gone to Craven Cottage, they've honestly won. So to go out there and get a draw now, honestly, not the best of results for them. So that now then brings us to the final moment and final match day of the week. What I was calling the Isaac Derby, Liverpool versus Newcastle. And this was undoubtedly the game of the weekend. You know what I mean? Like the game of, I know I said Spurs beating City, that's like the result of the weekend. Probably like Brentford winning 1-0 versus Villa as well. Again, just because of how difficult their season is going to be and trying to get 35 points to survive. But this game, in terms of entertainment value, everything crazy. Like the storyline behind what's going on there, then on the pitch itself, coming out, Newcastle coming out hard, playing crazy. Anthony Gordon having like one of the games of his life, then gets himself sent off. It's like Liverpool score, right? Then second half, come out, they score again. It's like Liverpool and Newcastle's already down to 10. So you're thinking, okay, that's it. The route is on. Nah, Newcastle run out, crazy, physical, hard, everything, right? And then now, get it back to 2-2. You're thinking, oh, Newcastle might really have just done it here. But then, nah, the young youth, Rio, I can't pronounce his last name, so I won't even try and butcher it. But shout out to that young man. Him going, bend it up, binds it up, goal. Like, that was a moment for him right there. You know what I mean? And in the dying seconds of the game, Liverpool, yet again, snatch it out and win. And listen, it doesn't show well for Liverpool to be up 2-0 basically on a team with 10 men and concede 2 goals. But yo, they found a way to get back and do it and win. And sometimes that's all you need to and have to do. So that right there is the final game of the week, and at the end of match week 2, not that it really matters too crazy and too tough, but you know, this is what the table looks like. I'll throw a picture in, you know what I mean, who's at first. You already see who's first, second, third, fourth. Top 4 pretty much how I'd envision it would be, give or take, this early in the season. But yeah, this week sets up next week, especially that Arsenal versus Liverpool game. It's definitely a who blinks first type of scenario early in the season already. You know what I mean? So that is obviously like the match to look out for next week. And yeah, I don't know. Y'all tell me, who do you think was the most surprising result for y'all this week? And yeah, with that being said, that's all I have for y'all in this one. That's the end of the Premier League playback, you know. Like I said, trying some different stuff for y'all. And yeah, if you enjoy it, just make sure you hit the subscribe button, you like, you hit the bell, you continue tuning in, because this is something we're going to be doing every week, you know what I mean? And tell me in the comment section right now, pick a game, any game from the upcoming week, and who you think is going to win and why. Matter of fact, let me get your Liverpool versus Arsenal score predictions down there in the comment. You already know me. I'm going to say that my team is going to go in there. We're going to put in a good, solid performance, and we're going to win 2-1. But yeah, let me know, peeps. And until the next one, Continue believing in yourself, continue trusting, continue loving, continue helping, continue guiding. And I'm out.